This next question is a follow-up on that. It comes from Chris Freed of Philadelphia. And he says it's been a long-term policy of Berkshire to not sell or close any ongoing subsidiaries as long as their business prospects weren't a money hole. Over the last year, he points out the sale of Berkshire Hathaway Media, and then Charlie's comments from that interview saying that several small Berkshire subsidiaries will not be opening when the coronavirus lockdown is lifted. So should shareholders assume that Berkshire has now changed its long-term policy in regards to keeping underperforming subsidiaries?
I think that policy was spelled out for maybe 30 years or so, and then in the annual report that we have said that if a company or if an operation, we think its prospects are that it will continually lose money in the future, that we will we'll try to sell it to somebody else, but one way or another we will not continue to hold it. That is not a new policy, and it's not been changed. You can say, in effect, we did that with the airline industry to some extent. If we owned all of an airline now, it would be a tough decision to decide whether to sustain billions of dollars in operating losses when you know, A, you don't know how long it's going to happen or occur, and secondly, you know that it's very likely that there'll be too many planes around, and we know what happens in airline pricing when load factors go down and there's an oversupply of airline seats. So, we didn't have to make that decision in terms of our own operation on it, but we did make a decision that's a very tough management decision to make. And the government, of course, as well, they've had the first wave of financing for the airlines, but to the airlines' credit, they have very aggressively raised money. I mean, it's amazing to me what a good job they've done of that. And in the case of, I think in the case of two of them, but there may be more coming, they've raised equity money too. I mean, they are saying to the debt holders and investors, you've got to put more money into this business if we're going to be able to continue. And the government's done it, and private sources have done it, and it's exactly the right thing for the managements to be doing. But whether it makes sense, we'll find out for the investors.
This next question comes from Eric Lafont, and it's directed to Greg. He asks, how is Precision Castparts handling the severe slowdown in the aerospace industry?
So very consistent with everything we've just discussed, which is obviously a large part of their business is the aerospace industry. And it can really be broken into three areas as we do in our queue, but two are being impacted. The defense contract business remains very sound and strong within Precision Castparts. But if you look at the large body aircraft, the aircraft that they use within the regional jets, that business will move directly with the demand there and the jets that are ordered longer term. So Precision Castparts is literally, as we speak, continuing to adjust their business relative to the demand that would come out of Boeing. They would be having weekly calls with Boeing, recognizing what are the production orders there and adjusting the business accordingly.
Boeing raised $25 billion just a day or two ago, and they raised $14 billion before that, and a year ago they felt they were in a fine cash position, and I understand how all that happened. Airbus has had the same situation. They've made some comments recently within the last week, the fact that, they really don't know what their future is. And I don't know what their future is. We're gonna have aircraft in this country. We're gonna be flying. But the real question is whether you need a lot of new planes or not, and when you're likely to need them, and it affects a lot of people. And it certainly affects Precision Castparts. It affects General Electric. It obviously affects Boeing, and it is a blow to essentially have your demand dry up, and it goes up in the chain. And the aircraft manufacturers didn't bring it on themselves. The airlines didn't bring it on themselves. Precision Castparts didn't bring it on itself. General Electric didn't. It's basically that we shut off air travel in this country, and what that does to people's habits and how they behave in the future, it's just hard to evaluate. I don't know the answer. But we do know that it will have an effect on precision cashports, and how severe it will be, it depends on the same sort of variables that are hitting Boeing, and you name the company in aircrafts. And aircraft's a big business. And this country's good at it, incidentally, too. I mean, if you think about Boeing, it is one hell of a company, and it's important. It's a huge exporter, and it affects a lot of jobs, and some of them are with us. And, we hope for the best, and we wish everybody the best, obviously. We wish ourselves the best in it. But part of it is certainly out of our control.